You know, I just noticed something really weird about the sphere grid. Because we're the only one in the party right now, usually if someone activates a node, right, there are tiny little dots. You guys can barely see them probably on YouTube. The easiest one to see is in the center of this like circular structure room right now. Over this, around this thing here, when I'm not highlighting it, you can see lots of little diamonds encircling it. Now, these diamonds will light up as a character unlocks the node. So if you have a look at the ones Titus has got, there's a little blue diamond that's available next to all of them. Actually, you can't see that at all here. But basically, they all light up, and it shows you, even while I'm looking at Titus's grid, who's activated what else. But because we're alone in the party right now, it's disabled all the diamonds everywhere on the grid, and I never knew it did that. Anyway, the reason I was looking at this, because I wanted to see how close Riku was to her next thing, but I guess I can't tell. Hello everybody, and welcome to another video. Today, we are at Sanubia Sands with Titus alone. I always love it when RPGs do this, when we are completely separated from everyone else. So let's have a quick look at our gear. Lightning proof probably isn't going to be that useful. He's not got anything better right now. We do have the lifesaver equipped, but I'm not interested in that. What we want is big damage and we want safety. So we're either going to go with the Avenger or the Brotherhood. I'm going to say the Avenger just because we're the only person in the party, which means we're going to be getting all the attacks, which means we should get a fair few counters going. So yeah, that's what we've got. And I guess we could... no, we can't even customize anything.
Where am I?
Yeah, good question.
I forgive you this time. Be good for a while, okay?
Now, this bit with Sin, I think there are two areas in this game where Sin arriving and just taking you somewhere are complete cop-outs. Number one is when he takes you from Riku to P30, and this is number two. I don't think this is as bad as the elevator thing with Donovan. I definitely think it's one of the weaker parts of the story. I mean, seriously, what is this? We're randomly in an oasis. How did Sin even get here with everyone, without, like, anyone noticing? But whatever. Maybe nobody noticed because it's a friggin' desert and nobody lives here. We're at the oasis. There's some cool stuff that... I like this screen. Nothing really happens here, I've got to be honest. 4 remedies hidden in the water here. I like that you can actually swim around in this tiny pool. There is, like, that cliff there that I always wished I could walk up. I think maybe in the sequel you can, and there's a chest at the end over there or something, but we can't walk there in Final Fantasy X, so we'll just have to move on. For the record, now that we're here, we will start finding Albed primers if you'd missed previous ones in the story. Any of the primers that I have talked about before this point, if you missed any of them, they can reappear here. So if they were in like a place you could never get them again, right? So think about the very first primer on the salvage ship with Riku. We're never going back to that salvage ship. And so that would, in theory, be lost to us forever. However, if you did miss it, I think it'd be on the ground, like right here, somewhere around where we stood, right? There would be that primer. I did contemplate for this LP, showing you guys where all the original ones were, but deliberately not picking them up so I could show their second locations here, but I didn't go that far. So anyway, one of them will appear here, and as we go through the next few screens, all those other missable ones will also start to crop up, and I'll show you guys as we go. Anyway, this is like a full-on desert. Some Machina ruins. Here's our first encounter. Oh god. Okay, so this is a zoo. This is the big brother of Garudas, who, you know, we were familiar with way back in P30. Zoos, for the record, are a really typical enemy in Final Fantasy. Really typical enemy, and it doesn't surprise me that we're seeing some in Final Fantasy X. Now, this fight, if you go below half health, something will happen. So I'm just going to try my best to just play how I think I should, alright? So we'll slow the enemy first. There you go. Which makes his animation really weird. Now we're going to haste ourselves. Oh, I failed it. Alright, well, we got the counter.
Need some help?
Okay, so if you go below under half health, Auron will come to your help. So if you had grinded like mad with Titus, in theory he wouldn't do that. If I had defended instead of something else, in theory he wouldn't have done that. Let's haste Auron as well while we're at it now. And if I defended, then I would have had a bunch of turns to fight the zoo. And in theory, you can kill this enemy without Auron ever coming to help you. It is possible. Think about if, say, you taught Titus Dark Buster or Dark Attack. You'd be doing very well. So Power Break is also really useful. I like the encounters here in the desert. The harder ones, anyway, because, yeah, they can take a while, but these are enemies that aren't... Oh!
Are you alright?
So there was Thundara, and now Lulu comes in. When Auron's triggered to come in the next turn, Lulu will always arrive. So you have one chance to complete this without your allies coming to your help. It doesn't mean anything. When the battle ends, they'll still be with you. But yeah. Anyway, I like this fight because... And then finally we'll haste Lulu. It sort of it allows you to play around with all the things you've learned. So I tried to show you guys Bio against the Wendigo fight before. Let's use it here, because I know zoos are vulnerable to it. There you go, he gets that little poison mark, and that's going to do a lot of damage to him. We'll also use delay attack here. Look at how many goes we get after I nail him with this. Look how many goes we get. We get almost a full freaking ATB bar. Like, he comes right at the end. So we can just go crazy now. Is he immune to death? This is a question I'm wondering. He is immune to death. That at least makes sense. So we can't use death on him. But yeah, so that's what I was kind of trying to show off. I actually do have some clarifications. Look, we can delay attack again. And it's almost like he didn't get any chance at all. Last episode, there were a few things, actually, I regret that I never showed to you guys that I think I really should have. His Demi as well. I think he's vulnerable to Demi. I need to know at least one enemy here is. So there you go. That's 2,000 damage. That means his max health is somewhere around 8k at the moment. So the Wendigo, I said that was a battle again of status effects. It so is. It's just that I never got around to using them. There are a couple of situations, I've edited it now and watched, where I was going to use Whacker and then I sort of got held up. If you use Darkness on that guy, then all of his counters will be missing. So that would have been really strong. I should re-equip the Brotherhood here because this enemy is really not getting any turns. And Sleep as well. Sleep is amazing against that guy. Here you'll notice when you get this boss to a certain threshold of health, he stands. That doesn't change. It changes his animations. I don't think it necessarily changes any of his skills. Let's swap over to the Brotherhood again. Also, I realised while I was doing so much damage in that Seymour fight, it's because we used the talk command. I totally downplayed that. I was like, oh, you can talk and it will raise Titus to strength, but it won't do much. I actually think, you know, that strength boost is the equivalent of like cheering maybe 5 times on him. Of course, I could have done that with Titus as well and then absolutely wrecked face, but I think that's probably a big part of it. So anyway, we'll keep spamming these away, and eventually the boss is going to die. On my test file, I actually got very close to completing this without Auron coming. Mainly because I had Slice and Dice. You guys haven't seen it. That's the second overdrive Titus has unlocked. I had that ready to go. So, like, I believe I delay attacked him first, perhaps. Then got the Slice and Dice in. Maybe he missed his first attack and I just got a buttload of turns. Anyway, so there you go. You'll notice here we got 2 Albed potions from killing this enemy. This is something you get a lot in this area.
The others?
Haven't found them yet. We're supposed to stay in one place if we get split up.
Wait here if you want. He's not.
He's so rude. He doesn't even say anything. Outrageous. So we got some Albed potions, but you'll notice they are not included in the things we have available here. And Yuna's not here. So that's why last episode I advised you guys to stock up on some high potions. There are areas here in the desert where you can have some difficulty. But the way the game wants you to heal yourself is using Albed potions. Albed potions are used the same as bombs and grenades. They can only be used by a character with the use command, like Riku, in a battle, not out of a battle. And you'll see what they do here. They cure a lot of statuses, poison, silence, and petrify. I wonder why those are the 3 that have been chosen. Because none of those stats are really available here in the desert, but whatever. And it cures 1,000 HP to everyone. So it's like a triple high potion plus statuses at the same time. It's really, really strong. So, but it will cost you a turn in battle to do such a thing. Anyway, so yeah, Auron and Lulu are with us now. That's pretty awesome. I think it's a bit early though. So there's Whacker. You know, they split us up.
Waka!
I like it how distant he shouts when he's really not that far.
Mm-hmm. Where's Yuna? Damn it! First I lose Yuna, then I'm ambushed by Machina. Great day I'm having.
Is he saying that tent ambushed him somehow? So yeah, you know, they split you up, but you don't get time to enjoy yourself alone. I really like it when RPGs split people up. I said it before, I don't think Final Fantasy X does it enough. That they've already thrown a bunch of our characters back. Man, that kind of sucks. I always like, it's like in Tomb Raider games where you lose all your weapons, for example, and then you've got to find your way again. It's almost the same as that here, but they sort of ruin it. Anyway, so we get a chest. This is an Albed first aid kit. A first aid kit placed by the Albed to aid desert travelers. And we get 8 Albed potions, so a lot of Albed primers. The second of the hidden ones, or missable ones, would appear here in this tent. It's the one on the SS, what's the first one you got on? The SS Licky, I believe. That one will appear here where Waka is. There is a tutorial machine here, and it is functional. We haven't looked at one of these for a while, have we? I tend to, I don't know, I don't think they're that useful. But you can learn how to fight zoos and, look at this, cactars. So these aren't the same as the ones in the Thunder Plains. These are the regular version, and they're much more dangerous and give you a lot of AP if you manage to kill them. So do be aware of those. Over here we can move forward, but before transitioning through the zone, you can interact with all those little signs and actually attempt to read the albed that's on them. So here, look, here's a sign. Something's written here. Something ahead. Well, that says oasis ahead. We know that for a fact because there's only one letter we can't translate, and we just came from the damn oasis. So that's pretty cool. And there was another sign on the other screen, we won't bother. But check it out, here's Kamari. Oh, we get a cutscene. Oh, and a preemptive strike against a cactar. Well, we can use our overdrive here. These guys incredibly evasive, incredibly fast. They have an ability called 10,000 needles that would instantly kill someone. In most games, by the way, where there's blue magic, you can usually learn 10,000 needles. Like, that's an ability you can get from enemies, or at least 1,000 needles. However, in Final Fantasy X, you can't lance at these dudes to get anything. I think that's, it's a shame, but maybe it would have been it definitely would have been overpowered, so. Well, I don't know, because it's an overdrive. End game, it wouldn't help that much. I don't know. Anyway, so check it out, Slice and Dice. This is Titus's new overdrive. It's going to be a little bit harder to do. There you go. I have to press X a bit quicker. Easier to miss your window. But look, Titus just goes crazy. Just keeps on hitting. And the base stat, and there you go, that's an overkill too. Nobody else got a turn. So he's the only one that's going to get AP. But for that overkill, he gets 12,000 AP from that. What is that? That's 3 sphere levels he's going to get from that one fight alone. Maybe even 4. It's a lot, guys. The thing is, cactars are kind of rare, and it's also difficult to give everyone a turn before maybe they run away and do their own thing. 4 speed spheres and a new shield, a Seeker's Shield. Let's actually see what that is, because there you go, more health. I'm not going to complain about that, so we'll equip that thing. Alright, hey Kamari! Hey! He looks pretty bummed out, eh? Jeez.
Yuna gone.
It's not your fault, Kamari.
Okay, well, so, one thing I did right at the start of the LP that I wanted to show you guys, I taught Kamari Cure. Why did I do this? Because of this section of the game here. If we're going to be without Yuna for a little while, I don't like having to rely on the albed potions in battles, so having another character with Cure is super useful, and Kamari's really going to come into his own here. So yeah, let's travel along. There's a lot of chests in this area. For the record, a bit of X2 trivia again. Some of you have been commenting that, you know, that you think there's a little bit too much. I don't know. I'm not spoiling anything in X2. I'm just giving you little, like, gameplay things. One thing that you do learn in X2 is there's a bit more to Auron's story right now. Auron just came out of nowhere and just came to help us with the zoo. But the sequel actually sets up the fact that he was doing something and he'd met someone before that happened, which is pretty cool. But we won't get that story until the sequel. So when it comes to elemental damage while we're here, we got to think of a couple of things. Number one, most enemies in this desert are resistant to fire. They do live in a desert. That makes them, in general, weak to ice. So I'm just going to cast Blizzard here. Actually, that guy, it says it would take double damage from fire. So that's kind of stupid. Unless that said half damage. I'll have to have a look in a second. So yeah, that's something you want to look at. That wasn't even a tier 2 magic. There you go, 3 albed potions, even though those enemies had nothing to do with the albed, right? That's just what they do here to try and help you get through the area. It's like a slight twist, because you can be really caught high and dry in the desert. But the devs, as long as you know about the albed potions, they can be quite forgiving with it. So you see that these birds are now inflicting darkness on us with their regular attacks. We'll go, so what do we want to do here? Is it fire he's weak to? Yeah, he's weak to fire. So, I mean, this will be an overkill from Kamari. There you go. Almost 2k damage. Beautiful. We've still got those black magic spheres. We're actually coming up with a lot of options with Kamari. I expressed to you guys last episode that I would have him use the black magic spheres to get some, like, tier 3 black magic as soon as Lulu does. But there's some other stuff that we can do to skip him directly to Lulu. I don't know, the sphere grid, they just give you a lot of really cool spheres at this point. We're getting a lot of the same matchup here. This area of the game is a really good candidate for one of those places where you can get very different enemies depending on where you're stood. The desert is big. Not as big as it is in the sequel. But, you know, it is very big, so you want to be careful. So that's an S-Mog. I guess that would send someone to sleep. No, that would be a Sleepy Kate Sith. An S-Mog would probably have Distill Speed when you attack someone. Hey, look, it's Riku!
Oh, hey guys. Where's Uni?
Gone.
Gone. Some guardian I am.
There's something I want to tell you, but promise not to say anything. No glaring either. I know where we are. We're on Bikanel Island. There's a place us Albed call home near here. Uni's there, I'm sure of it. Other Albed must have come and rescued her.
Rescued? You mean kidnapped?
What does it matter as long as she's safe?
That's right. Anyway, I will take you there if you promise that you won't tell anyone about it. Especially not Yevonites, okay? You know they don't like us Albed. Who knows what they'll do if they knew?
Give me a break. What are you accusing Yevon of this time?
Yevon did something really bad to us before.
Well, you Albed must have deserved it.
Ugh! Can't you guys talk about this later?
Just promise you won't tell anyone about this island. Promise?
Waka, come on!
All right, I promise. Lead the way.
You got it.
I hate what Tidus just did there. You know when... So here you actually have Riku. She's running along. You can try and catch up if you like. You know, if you're having an argument with someone or you know, a heated debate, a mild debate, whatever, right? And you're clearly in the right. Maybe this is so big-headed of me, but you feel like you're clearly in the right. And then someone else interrupts and says, can't you two talk about this later? As if there's, like, more of a discussion to be had. It's like they're not going to take sides. Now that I say that out loud, now that I voice those thoughts, I realise how stupid I sound. But, oh, man, just what Tidus did there. Like, it shouldn't be, oh, can't you guys talk about this later? It should be, Waka, shut up. Let Riku just speak, you know, listen to what Riku's saying. Because you're clearly in the wrong, Waka. Not including Riku in it as well. Not, like, punishing Riku at the same time for defending herself when she has every right to. Maybe that sounds a bit better. Alright, anyway, so double chests here. These new skins on the chest, obviously, Albed, you know you're going to get Albed potions out of them. 2 ethers here. This location is where the Albed primer from the SS Winnow would appear if you missed it. Either that, or this is or that was just a second ago with Kamari, and this is the one that where if you missed that one that Rin would have given to you in the Thunder Plains, then this one would appear. Aside from that, that's all of them pretty much done. So here's Riku. We can follow her around. I like this because it adds a bit of flavour to the big deserts. I mean, these are really huge areas.
Let me handle the Machina. I can take them apart piece by piece.
Ah, yes. So we have some Machina. We all know that they're weak to lightning, so let's keep our lightning steel around. And yeah, Riku has a really cool thing she can do in that she can steal from them, take grenades from them, and it just dismantles them. It just breaks them to pieces, which is fantastic. So we'll attack that guy there. He didn't quite die. I think he must be very close to dying, though. We'll cast Light Thundara on him, and there you go. So yeah, that's one of the specialties of Riku, and they're actually, if you think about the game mechanically, sphere grid-wise, they're very smart. We haven't seen any Machina since before the Mi'ihen High Road. Why is that? It's because on the Mi'ihen High Road, you get a level 1 key sphere, and with that level 1 key sphere, you can break your way through into Riku's path and get steel for yourself, and with steel, you can completely dismantle any Machina. So the last Machina you see in the story at Luca is just moments before you get the key sphere, and you could, in theory, give steel to a character to make all that stuff easy. Isn't that kind of clever? It's funny when you look at it in retrospect how carefully timed out a lot of things were.
No complaining.
So yeah, Tidus in battle seems to be a little concerned we're not going the right way. I'm going to start using stuff on Riku. I mean, geez, here, let's smoke bomb. I'll just deal with all of these guys.
Get out of here!
Boom! Triple overkill. Very nice. And they were all blinded. So that's cool. I do want to start using our mixers as well, but that means spending some time off screen to go and... There you go, another 6 Albed potions. You'll have 99 by the time you leave this area, I promise you guys. But that means leaving time off screen to, you know, give her a good overdrive mode, keep charging her overdrives, and then, you know, show her some stuff off. Because some of them are really cool. It's like Phoenix Down mixed with a Phoenix Down makes a Mega Phoenix. 2 Mega Phoenix makes a Final Phoenix. Like, they got such cool names. Oh, man. We got some cool stuff we can steal from enemies here as well that you can miss out, which I'll talk about very soon. Let's just start stealing. Let's steal from you. That should give me another smoke bomb, yeah? So, we threw one, we get one back. I kind of want Waka to have a go. He does still have the TKO. I just need to re-equip it. It's so weird. On regular playthroughs of this game, I almost never swap weapons in battle. And what have I done? 1,000,000 times this LP, I've swapped weapons, like, in battle. So here we go. Then we kill him with Auron. Oh, no, Auron, you let me down. 2 goes from that bird if it survives. There we go. Nice. We shot at it. And can we shot at that as well? Nope. It was low enough to just be finished off. Sweet. There we go. More potions. We already picked up that chest, did we? This is actually one episode where I'm going to have my guidebook up a lot. If it sounds like my voice is getting a bit distant or whatever, it's actually just because I'm looking at, because there's so many chests all over the place, I need to be careful and make sure I actually know where I'm looking for them, because I do want to get them all. It kind of frustrated me, that episode on the Thunder Plains where we missed one. But look at that background! Look at that sky! I guess I haven't spent much time in the LP talking about, like, IRL stuff. It's quite nice to be in the desert to, reflect the fact that it's the height of summer right now while I'm recording these. Something's written here. Okay, so ahead is a place to something. I happen to know that word is rest. My instinct there was to think it was sleep. But yeah, so ahead is somewhere to rest. This is where the Albed have been hanging out. Riku will follow you the first time you enter this area. This is the Sanubia Sands Central. It's weird because this region of the world is called like Sanubia Sands, but then it's also called Beacon Desert by some people, and I don't know. I don't actually know what the distinction is, why one is called one thing and why is the other. Maybe it's a translation thing, I don't know. Anyway, we're going to steal some more bombs here. This is a huge area. There is probably only one place in all of Final Fantasy X that is like as open as this area is, like as much of a field as this is. We haven't seen that place yet. So, you know, this is really big. Expect this to be something you're a bit unaccustomed to. Very different to, say, Macalania Woods, for example. But all over the central region, you'll find chests. So we can see one in the distance right now. That chest all the way over there in the distance is about halfway through the map, if that. So we'll grab this one. I don't have, like, a perfect route for grabbing all of these, so you'll just have to bear with me. But there you go, 4 high potions. That is not a sign we can interact with. No point scraping the walls. Oh, and here we go. This is a sandworm.
Where's the early bird when you need it?
Okay, so the early bird catches the worm, guys. So these things are huge. They also happen to be a lot like zoos in that they're very vulnerable to time magic. So, oh my god, wait, what? You can't slow him? Okay, interesting. Alright, so instead of that, what we're going to do is bring out Riku, and we're going to start stealing from it.
Bring it on!
Because as far as I remember, yeah, stamina springs. Now, these are really interesting items in that if Riku throws one at someone, it doubles their max health for that battle. Yeah, no shit, it doubles their health. Do I want to... What else do I even want to do in this fight? I guess we'll just start beating it up. The other thing you can steal from these are shadow gems. They're actually the default items that you get as well. So we just got the rare steal for that, which is really awesome. So we'll grab a couple of shadow gems. And what the shadow gems do is they cast Demi, I believe, on whatever target. So Demi is actually really useful against sandworms. These are the highest health creatures we have encountered in the game to date by a wide margin. I'll show you guys by equipping the Brotherhood onto Titus. Sorry, Lulu, I talked over you there. So look, we'll put bio in it.
Help your complexion.
There's something wrong with your complexion, I think is what she said. I love the tiny little green dot all the way up there. Should we steal some shadow gems? Yeah, come on. Come on, Riku, stop messing it up here. Alright, so now we will haste Lulu. Oh, no, right, I wanted to equip the Brotherhood, so here we go. Their health is immense. This means that poison does an enormous amount of damage and is really useful. There you go, 4,500 damage every time this thing gets a turn. I almost wonder, because that's more damage than my characters conceivably do in one hit, with the exception of Demi, which you're about to see, I wonder if it would be best to haste the enemy, poison him, and then just slow your whole team. Look, Lulu did nearly 9,999 damage to that, because it's got 45,000 health. Okay, it takes double damage from water and ice, but default from lightning, and it resists fire. So what we're going to do is bring Kamari in. I'm done trying to steal. We are going to black magic, and we're going to start spamming ice on him. Actually, he's weak to water, and since I got water, I should probably start casting that. So yeah, I wonder. Anyway, here's a slice and dice. I might clip into this enemy
I've
here.
been saving this one for you.
Because he's so enormous. There we go, we got it. Alright, there's 1, 2. If there's multiple targets, by the way, it will spread out across loads. But even with this overdrive, I'm not even touching the amount of damage that poison's doing. So yeah, you know, that's something you can do. After a while, Lulu's demi damage is obviously going to drop enormously. So then you'll want to put her on regular black magic. The boss uses Swallow. I believe this is a counter that he does when he gets to a certain threshold of health rather than anything else. Throw another demi at him. So the way to make him spit, that character's now gone from the party. But if you do enough damage, if you hit him for enough turns, so Wartara here, you notice we can't scan him anymore because Titus was completely swallowed. Eventually, the worm will spit that player back out. We'll go again. I keep calling these things players, not characters. You notice Demi's doing so much less damage now. But he's still over 10,000 health. We'll go again. And the other big thing about these, right, is there's a skill that Riku learns called Bribe in the game. Which is, you know how spare change, you throw money at an enemy. You literally throw the gill at them. And the amount you throw, then that does a threshold of their health. Well, there's another one called Bribe, and it's just when you give a monster gold, and they want the gold because they're greedy, and by giving them enough gold, you bribe them to just walk away from the battle. That's the whole idea of the skill. It's really bizarre. It kind of, oh, we got an overkill as well. That's really nice. So poison alone will overkill that boss. It's really bizarre what they do. Like, the idea is that the monsters are intelligent enough to want the gill, and they'll walk off. But there's a side effect. It's really weird. But if you do bribe a monster to leave the party, they will also give you items. So you give them gold, and they say, all right, I won't kill you. And here, look, here's a special item for you. So every single monster in the game has all the stuff we've already seen. They've got gear drops, regular item drops, rare item drops, regular steals, rare steals. How can we best deal with this? Maybe bring Riku in and just try and steal from it. If it sticks about, then we'll try and kill it, but it might just flee. So that's the Chocobo feather we got there. Nice, it stuck about. Okay, so it's really resistant to magic. So how can we best... Alright, I think it might not be... It might be immune to this, but if I can get...
Run, Needles!
If I can get slow on it, that's some pretty cool dialogue too, actually. I can, cool, but that didn't really do anything. So we need to do 800 damage to it. I mean, Whacker will have trouble trying to hit it, so maybe we should stick with magic, but its magic defense is going to be really high. Oh, really high? Only 37 damage? No way, we have to go the Whacker route. Alright, go for it, dude. Oh, come on.
Hey, you! Over here!
The Provoker animation is really cool. I feel like I don't see it enough. Oh, here we go. This is 10,000 needles. 10,000 damage. Nothing you can do to stop it. At only 1,600 health, you're not going to get around that. So that's fine. We'll bring... we'll just Phoenix down him. There we go. Nice. That was 2 crits in a row as well. And Whacker managed to get the kill. That's nice. What was I talking about before this battle came on? I really can't remember. I'm so sorry, guys. I lost my train of thought. We also got first gold there, which is a respectable weapon for Whacker. That's got initiative on it. I'm going to throw that on. That means we're going to get a lot more preemptive strikes as long as Whacker is at the top. Oh, yeah, I was talking about bribe. It always comes back to me. So, yeah, you get all these different items, and then there's bribes too. Now, the reason I'm talking to you guys about this now, before we've got the skill, is you can bribe those sandworms. The mechanics of bribe is basically you have to give them, like, 10,000 their max health, 10 times their max health in gold before they go away. And by bribing the sandworms, which have 45,000 max health, so this costs a ton of money and an ability you probably don't have yet. If you manage to do it, then they will drop, they'll give to you these items called winning formulas. And winning formulas basically can break the game by being amazing in certain mix overdrives. So that's something really specific you can do if you like. You can return here and go for those winning formulas. They're even good for customization stuff too. It's like a really cool drop that you can get just off of those worms and only from bribing them with an enormous amount of gold. Cool, everyone's overkilling with their regular attacks except Auron right now. Oh, Auron, why are you so disappointing in this playthrough? Why? You depress me so. Alright, so Riku here. You also notice, not Riku, what am I doing? You also notice if you look closely, now that Waka's got this new weapon, he's got a different skin on his weapon there. Anyway, there's this chest way off down here in the southwest corner. Look at that view back there, Jesus. Hiding 2 mega potions for you if you choose to come all the way out here. There are some great items in the desert, but funnily enough, they don't come from field chests.
Right back.
They come from chests you get in battles, and we'll come to that in a second. Maybe I'm jumping the gun slightly. But yeah, so anyway, I hope you guys are all doing good today. Today is July 17th, and I finally got around to watching Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Which actually was a really good movie. Like, I didn't expect to enjoy it that much. And the reason I say that I watched that today is because the sequel came out in cinemas just today. A bit of a summer blockbuster, I guess. And I'm actually really excited to go and watch it. So anyway, we've got a zoo here. Instead of spending all the time to fight it, I'm just going to make my guys flee. I don't think you can steal anything too amazing from them. Here we've got a pretty cool choice in where we go. This is a big area, and it's not fully linear either. So if we walk up to this sign, I didn't even have to press X on this. Riku spazzes out running into the wall. That's like such a Final Fantasy thing, by the way. I've seen like a live-action Final Fantasy spoof video where these guys are walking around, and they all like lag into walls running like that. It's amazing. Anyway, so something is written in here in our bed. We can read this. We're good enough at our bed now, guys. This says, beware of fiend. Weaker fiend to the right, stronger fiend to the left. And of course this is actually a bit of a payoff for you if you're not going like completionist run where you would explore everything anyway. To understand something like this, there are much more powerful fiends over on the left, and all the small ones that we tend to have been fighting so much already, they're all over on the right. Now, as I say, if you want to do a completionist run, you're going to go both directions anyway. So I'm going to start off on the right. The reason you're going to go on both directions isn't because of the field chests, but it's because there's an Albed primer in both directions, which it's in your best interest to pick up. Oh, and I should clarify too, the big enemies in this area, they're immune to both death and petrify, so we can't cheese them out. That's one of the reasons why I've unequipped Waka with this weapon. Yeah, it's cool and overpowered, and there will be more situations for it later, but they're immune to it, so you can't totally gimp the game out. But yeah, so all the way over here, we find the exit to this zone, but you'll find a primer on the floor. This is volume, what is that, 18? So N is equal to R, and we might find we have skipped one here on our list, as you can see here. That's 18. Where's 17? Well, 17 is with the stronger fiends, which we'll have a look at in just a second. So something's written here, apparently. I'm not going to translate that. You can probably make it out, though. Okay, I will. It says, this way to home. So yeah, very interesting. Now, there's a weird, like, chunk of this map off on the right of us right now. Do I want to go for this? Not really. What's the rare steal from a cactus? I don't know. Oh, here we go. We'll just, wait, is Titus's overdrive up? No. Alright, we'll go with an attack rails here. I need to play some more Blitzball, but we can't at the moment. The story isn't available. I want to unlock Waka's next one, status reels, which I very rarely use, ever, because it's just not as good as attack reels, but I'd like to show it off in the series. The way you unlock status reels, for the record, is you have to have won a certain number of random encounters with Waka there, and then it will appear as a prize in one of the Blitzball leagues. 11 sphere levels for Riku. What is this? Sentry for Auron. What is that? That seems kind of interesting. Sentry, piercing, and initiative. Okay, so it's just his initiative weapon. Should we have a double initiative party? I don't know whether they stack like that. So no, I'm not gonna bother with them. Alright, so yeah, there's a huge section over on the right of us right now. You might be tempted to go explore there. Don't bother, there's nothing there at all. It's just wastes, it's just sand. Maybe some cool views over these, like, pegged, like, fences in the areas, these barbed wire fences, but there's nothing going on. You know what this area reminds me of? It's really weird. When I was younger, we used to go, it wasn't like a school friend of mine, but like a friend of the family's place. We used to play their PS1, and they had this skiing game.
Let's go.
Okay, Orange, sure. And they had this skiing game. Well, it wasn't a skiing game. It was a snowboarding game for the PS1. I don't remember what it's called. I've never been interested in sport games that much. But for some reason, the hills here, the yellow sand, almost white sand, I guess you could say, reminds me of that game, especially those weird little fences. It's one of those really weird things in life that I feel like you look at something and it makes you think of something completely bizarre and different. And you're like, well, why does my brain jump to that? But apparently it does. You know, I've forgotten a lot of things over my life, but apparently I'm not going to forget that for whatever reason. Anyway, so now that we're left, you see we got another giant sandworm. I will take the time to kill this one. I'm not going to bore you guys with watching it. Actually, something really funny, I think, if it works, is eject on a sandworm. Does this work? Triangle, circle, square. Does this work? Yeah, it does! Yes, it does! So there you go.
No time to waste. Let's go.